What is the hardest part about homeschooling that no one else talks about? Just look at people like Thomas Edison, Serena and Venus Williams, Simone Biles, Theodore Roosevelt, and many other celebrities and noteworthy people of our time that were homeschooled. Even look at people who dropped out of public school, like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Evan Williams. Look at where they are now. What would have happened if they had joined homeschooling earlier and begun working on their careers through homeschooling even earlier than when they dropped out? But you're probably thinking, I'm only talking about all the good aspects of homeschooling, all the easy parts. But what about the hardest part of homeschooling? And I can tell you this, the hardest part about homeschooling isn't the socialization aspect, because there are various hybrid classes, homeschool co-op groups, in-person homeschool programs, after-school clubs and sports. All these things make socialization a non-issue. The hardest part about homeschooling isn't the fact that homeschoolers are more sheltered than other students. Because number one, that isn't true. Because homeschoolers get to go out with their parents whenever they want, as long as the parent permits it and regulates that time. And because, how do we define being sheltered? Because if we define being sheltered, being confined on like a property or like a building, then technically public school kids are sheltered while they're in school. And homeschool kids are sheltered when they're at home. So it doesn't really make sense either. So that can't be the hardest part. The hardest part about homeschooling isn't figuring out what to teach your child. Because if we're being realistic, there are resources everywhere. You have books, online classes, co-op groups, YouTube, entire curriculums at your fingertips. That part is easy. The hardest part about homeschooling is something that all the people I've mentioned at the beginning of this video have in common. And that is self-discipline from both the student and the parent. As a homeschooled student, you're not always going to have a teacher over you 24/7. And at the same time, while your parents are guiding you through the process and educating you, they have busy lives too. And they're not always going to be hovering over you 24/7 either. So as a homeschooled student, especially one that's an older teen, it's up to you to manage yourself throughout your schedule. And it's up to you to stay focused throughout the day without everyone telling you what to do. And that cultivates self-discipline naturally, which is a skill that will help the student into adulthood. And for the parent, to sit by their child and guide them through every obstacle that they have while balancing a busy work schedule on their own and figuring out how to organize curriculums by themselves takes a lot of self-discipline. Because number one, doing all those tasks at the same time and having them organized throughout your life is just hard by itself. But on top of that, you have to actually trust that you're doing the right thing and stand your ground on that belief. It takes the discipline of a parent who's homeschooling to show up every day for their child because they know of the sacrifices that they make right now will be worth it for their child's future, even though the majority of people are opposed to that idea, or at least are too afraid to take action on it. And while I understand that there are some parents who are unable to homeschool, again, homeschooling is not for everyone. I'm not saying everyone should homeschool, but I do believe that if you can homeschool, you definitely should. But just remember that the hardest part about homeschooling will be that self-discipline from both the child and the parent. Because it will take both of you being intentional about learning, growing in your education for homeschooling to work for you. But once you do it, it will definitely be worth it. Thank you for watching this video. And we recently just hit 100 subs. And we couldn't have done it without all of you who keep commenting, watching, sharing, liking. We definitely couldn't have done it without you. It really helps to motivate us and put out more homeschool content like this to the world. So we thank all our viewers for all their support. And thank you so much for 100 subs. That's a huge milestone for us. I will see you in the next video. Bye.